Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. J, your high performance coach and champion of learning. I'm here to talk to you about beliefs because what is so amazing to me is we often walk through the day focused on what we have to achieve, that to do list that keeps us plugging along. And often we forget that when we want to make a change in our lives, for me right now, the biggest change I want to make is I was divinely guided back to the classroom. After battling an aggressive cancer, I realized that I want to do what I love more than anything in this world, and that is bring hope and a vision to children's lives. And so I had this divine experience being guided back to serve this wonderful community in teaching fifth grade. And my business shifted then to the evening hours on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and then one Saturday and one Sunday each month. And I thought, whoo, this is going to be a season where I learn a lot. And it's amazing to me how easy it is to get into patterns of behavior that are unhealthy. I'm guilty as charged. I have gained 10 pounds, my friends, in the last 2 weeks. And I just think to myself, oh my gosh, I've created these patterns of behavior. They're thoughtless patterns of behavior. You want to know the secret truth? What I do on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, those days that are my business days where there's just not a spare minute in my day and I'm exhausted. The classroom that I was assigned is an ESE, exceptional student education classroom. And it basically means that the children have a lot of behavioral challenges. And so it has been, to be honest, absolutely exhausting. I have kids who roll on the floor, who scream, who are defiant, who are constantly pushing the soap dispenser while I'm trying to teach in the middle of small group lessons while I'm across the room with a small group of readers. It has been one of the greatest challenges of my life, yet also has me divinely fueled. Waking at 4:40 a.m. so that I can get my Peloton ride in before I leave the house, before I shower and then leave the house at 6, arriving at school at 6:35, bells going at 7:20, making sure that I am the best that I can possibly be so that I can serve these children and their families well. And then sustaining that high energy approach. So you want to know what I've been doing? Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, literally pile of tortilla chips, sprinkle some cheese, non-RBST, of course, and then microwave that on for a minute and a half, top it with some jalapenos, and call it dinner. I'm so ashamed because there is zero nutritional value in any of that. And then to make matters worse, because of all the stress, I have been indulging in ice cream. So today, when I went to the grocery store, I said, no ice cream in the cart. There are no sweets in this house. I am getting my act together this week. So the reason we're talking about belief is because it is those moments, our beliefs, that determine our behaviors. So I want you to write this down with me. This is called the ladder of inference. And so just take a small piece of paper. Let's see. I really should do this with a darker, I think black pen should work. Okay, so you're going to make a ladder. The bottom rung is experience, then perspective, beliefs, thoughts, and actions. So as you make your ladder, you're going to have E at the bottom for experience. Write out experience because you won't remember it. I think of this all day long. I'm like, where am I at on my ladder? Ooh, I need to climb down and look at this in a different way. Change your perspective. The beliefs you have change, your thoughts change, your actions change. This is truly the secret of what differentiates those who are high earning, extraordinary leaders and those who are on the struggle bus all day long. I actually did a lesson with my students this week on the power of leadership and why that might be something they want to invest in learning. The average salary of all occupations across America in May of 2023 was 65,000 and change. The average salary of leaders was 137,000. So that's over twice the earnings, the earning potential. So you'll see that's why I'm passionate about leadership. These are the skills that not only strategically position you in the workplace, they are the skills that also make you better in life. They make you a better mother, sister, daughter, friend. Everything improves when you improve your ability to lead. And so as you look at this, I want to share with you the most powerful ladder that I've ever used to support weight loss. And that's what I'm revisiting right now. So my experience was, and I taught this in 2021. During COVID, I was eating a lot emotionally. I had made a lot of unhealthy choices and gained, ironically, 19 pounds. So that was the experience. I wrote that in my journal. I literally take my journal, I sketch the ladder in the top corner, I write E for experience, write it down. What am I experiencing? That should be objective, not subjective. So this is only fact based. Like I was eating emotionally, I was making unhealthy choices, I gained 19 pounds. Notice I didn't make excuses or subjectively say it was a really hard time. Hard is subjective. This is just the space for facts. Then perspective was when faced with busy, challenging days, I was worn out. And when I achieved all my goals, I wanted to reward myself with food. I thought of food as a reward. So my belief was food is a reward system. Food tastes great. I deserve to eat bad foods and treat myself when I've worked hard. That would be a belief. Another belief would be it's only one splurge. It doesn't really matter, which is actually a big fat lie. Thoughts, I don't have time or energy to make dinner. And then I would think Taco Tuesday, pizza night, burger night. And my actions were to indulge and eat large portions of food, to feel full and detached from the stresses of the day. And so what I realized is that was not serving me, this pattern of behavior. And this is a tool you can pull out at any single time in your life and say, what are the patterns I'm seeing? How can I change my perspective? So notice I'm going to climb a different ladder. I call that my red ladder. It's like red means stop, stop it. This is my green ladder. So same experience, right? The objective description of what was happening didn't change. I was eating emotionally, making unhealthy food choices, gaining 19 pounds. Perspective, though, was everything. Because I had studied high performance, I knew the world's highest performers generate the energy they need to endure challenges that they know are inherent to life. They don't get derailed by challenges. They know that a challenge makes them stronger. They know that a challenge is inherent to living on planet Earth and being human. And so they just embrace it. So the perspective is, I will generate the energy I need to endure challenges throughout the day. The belief system then that associated with that is food is fuel. It assists me in sleeping well, which helps me stay focused and be more productive, produce more in less time, so that I have practices for self-care in my life, that I'm able to show myself self-love, that I have a lot of energy. And that belief informs new thoughts. I need to eat foods that energize and sustain me to reach my goals. Healthy foods are the way to go. And then actions, I make time to prep my meals and find joy in caring for my health. This is the best way to determine when we're lying to ourselves. For me, I used to have this perspective that after a hard day's work, it might be a hard week. Perspective, Taco Tuesday is fun. Happy Hour Friday is fun. Saturday morning brunch is fun. My belief was I earned it. I'm telling you, friends, it's not an earning or a splurge or a treat to poison your body. We were at my brother's wedding over the summer, and there was very few things that I could actually eat. And my aunt said, well, why don't you just treat yourself? I said, I don't even see it that way anymore. I don't see, my perspective isn't poisons and toxins or a treat. This week, you want to know what happened after I ate ice cream? I literally almost immediately looked like I was 3 months pregnant. That's my body telling me, holy cow, you just poisoned me. The inflammation and how hard my body has to work to do that. As a cancer survivor, every single one of us has cancer cells in our bodies. The thing that's amazing is our body is so brilliantly and wonderfully made that it can kill those cells at any given time. But when we're loading the body with toxins, it doesn't have as much capacity to fight the disease. I was talking to a woman at church today whose husband has a low platelet count and now is also experiencing gout. And I said, let me look up the HZ frequencies that can cure gout. That's another belief. I read this book, Love, Medicine, and Miracles, and I learned that extraordinary patients believe they have the ability to change their lives. That's a belief. Is life happening to you or life happening for you? Are you a victim of your circumstances, or are you empowered to take ownership and responsibility for the trajectory of your life? Where are you headed? Those are just honest questions for you to ask about that belief room, because it's here. Often we beat ourselves up because of the actions we take, the missteps we make. We have to go, wait a minute. All of our actions are the result of a thought. Where do our thoughts come from? They originate in our beliefs. Where do our beliefs come from? What we see. That's why B.F. Skinner writes about operant conditioning and how our environment shapes who we become, because our environment shapes what we see. I just moved to the horse capital of the world. The motto of this town is God is with us. You go to the grocery store, people will slow down to provide you with space to turn down the aisle. They'll even give you a spot. They'll say, God bless you, as they're handing you your grocery bag, walking out the door. There's thoughtfulness everywhere. My perspective went from hurry and hustle, you're never going to make it, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can keep up, to peace, love, harmony, showing gratitude to others, being kind to others, making time to be present with others. It's been a really awkward reinvention, to be completely honest. It's an entirely different operating system. And it's why I call it my extraordinary life edit. So let's talk today about ultra success. I started researching, what I found fascinating is I have been researching high performance and leadership. Leadership since fourth grade, thanks to Mrs. Davis, but high performance starting in 2019 really aggressively. And my doctorate research, which I did from, let's see, I graduated 2015, and that was a 7-year program. So 2010, 2008, approximately 2008, studying leadership really aggressively. 2019, really diving into high performance. And what I was so surprised by when my daughter requested to go to church, and I'm looking at scripture and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, all decades of research, and all I had to do was read this one book. So out of curiosity, I started dissecting some of the beliefs that are also biblical, that are tied to leadership and high performance, because it is our beliefs, my friends, that are going to determine the quality and trajectory of our lives. So the first one is belief in the possibility. One of the things I always tell myself when I'm stuck is imagine the possibilities for your life. Imagine. God leaves breadcrumbs. There's times I'm really frustrated. I'm like, God, what are you doing guiding me back to this 5th grade classroom? This work is more than I can handle. I'm also parenting a teenager who is sometimes difficult. Her horse is lame. So that has created, she's lost the one thing she loves more than anything on this earth. You've noticed I probably haven't posted a whole lot about our horse, because we're still navigating what does it mean to improve a lame horse. So she's really frustrated. I'm like, holy cow. Then my father dies unexpectedly. Then I'm watching this kid and he accidentally pulls my car door shut, and it pulled the garage door opener string down into the car. So as I'm backing out, it pulls the garage door off of the track. My entire spoiler of my Porsche gets caught in the garage door. My garage door is broken. My Porsche is damaged. I'm like, I can't handle more. I have a battle that's massive with the IRS because my CPA lied to the IRS. And I'm like, I'm solving one problem after another. The minute I put out one fire, there's another fire. It feels like this game of whack-a-mole. And I have to recognize that it is through turning to my belief system. My belief is that I have made it through 100% of the hard days. That makes me undefeated. As someone who's undefeated, I walk courageously into the day, knowing that challenge is an inherent part of being human. And as a result, that means I'm not going to be derailed or distracted by the challenge. The second belief is ownership and responsibility. This is the belief that things are happening for you and because of you. It's because of that energetic vibration that you're creating each and every day with intention. And that's an empowered stance to take control of your life, your outcomes, emphasizing your own personal responsibility and agency. Those who train with me know we focus on the research of the words I don't versus I can't. So this week, I'm not telling myself I can't eat nachos and ice cream. I'm telling myself I do not eat nachos and ice cream for dinner. That is not a nutritional choice that I'm proud to make. So I don't do it. I might have nachos one night, just saying. But one of the things that helped me through cancer and to change the trajectory of that disease, I'd be bald right now in the aftermath of a ton of chemotherapy if I hadn't changed dramatically, is I forgot what I was just saying that triggered me back to that moment of just how scary that was. And I'm still dealing with a lot of that trauma. Empowers you to take control of your life. I wasn't planning on talking about cancer in this part. Vibration, energy, choices. It will come back to me if it was divinely meant to be. The third belief is growth mindset. Embrace the belief that your challenges are opportunities for you to grow. I was at the gym tonight. I'm actually fresh back from the gym. And I was there with a neighbor who's a new friend of mine. And it was our first time working out together. And he's recovering from surgery as well. And it was so funny. I told him, you know, those ab machines that you kind of put your arms on like there's a little thing, you put your arms on it and you lift your legs up for your core workout. So I told him I like to do 100 of those. I do 20, 5 sets at 20. And he was like, oh my gosh, 100. I said, yeah, I just love to prove that I am so strong. And it's that moment that when you are challenged, you're wired for challenge. So anytime you face a challenge, if you believe challenges are a pain in the booty, or if you believe challenge is going to knock you off course or ruin your day, or things didn't go as planned because you're a perfectionist and you like to manage the minutes, and when something doesn't go as planned, you derail. That's the belief that you're not capable of handling challenge. That's why your thoughts go, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, my action is to be explosive or highly frustrated because things aren't happening the way that I planned. But when you believe that things are happening for you and that challenges are simply the opportunities for you to grow, just like I said, this is going to be the year I grow the most. It's going to be the year I grow more than any other year because I have to manage the minutes meticulously now. Before saying yes to this 5th grade opportunity, I was able to sleep in, have a sound bath, do a couple hours of work, go to the gym for 2.5 hours with my neighbor, then come back and do a couple more hours of work, call it a day and wrap it up and be at the barn by 4. It was like this ease and flow that was happening throughout the day. Now I'm like 4:40 a.m., Peloton 4:45, 5:05, shower, 6 o'clock out the door. I mean, it is like minute by minute managed, and it requires the absolute best of me. So my belief system is that this season is going to require the best of me. My thoughts then are, I wonder what skills I'm building right now. I wonder how God is working in my life right now. I'm starting to see these breadcrumbs connect. Literally today, this gentleman who we sit next to at church, we go to the early service just to sit with these 2 lovely couples. One's in their 70s, the other's 89 and 90 years old. They just celebrated their 66th wedding anniversary. And I just treasure them. And he says to me, hey, I was talking to my barber and I was sharing your story, and he said, you need to contact the governor. He's contacted him multiple times, and every single time he's answered. And I thought, oh, that's paying attention that these challenges are opportunities to grow and make an impact and a difference in other people's lives. So that's that growth mindset, recognizing you will overcome whatever obstacle you're facing, and also taking ownership and recognizing it's your responsibility to connect those dots to see why God has led you to this particular position and purpose. The 4th belief is self-worth. This one's one that almost every human on earth struggles with. About 3/4 of people don't believe they're worthy. And so believing that you are deserving of success and happiness is an essential belief. It fuels confidence and self-esteem. It drives you to pursue your goals with determination and discipline. So and the beauty of your brain is it doesn't know what's true and untrue. So you have to just tell it positive things. You're going to feel crazy. You're going to feel a little nuts as you're talking to yourself, right? But it's so critical for you to form that belief that I am worthy. And then the thoughts of self-love. I remember in the aftermath of my surgery, my right breast underwent radiation for 4 weeks. That's the minimum after any cancer treatment. And it made the tissue really firm and plump. And I'd lost 48 pounds during the process of getting insanely healthy. Partially was like that desire to lose that COVID weight. Then, thanks to a concussion, I continued quitting alcohol, and then cancer came. And so it was just this long journey of eliminating alcohol, eliminating gluten, eliminating most dairy and sugar. And so what happened was one breast felt like an old lady breast, and the other breast was looking like 20 something. And I felt really insecure about it. And it affected how I felt about myself and my feelings of self worth. And when I would look in the mirror and see that, or especially if I would bend over to put lotion on my legs, I didn't like how my breasts hung. And I would tell myself negative things about my body. And I remember Dr. Emoto's water crystal research. And I remember seeing how water changes the beauty of its crystals from these gorgeous looking snowflakes to like toxic poisonous sludge when they were spoken to with words like thank you, I love you, versus you disgust me or you fool. And I thought, my body's 70% water. I have to talk to myself differently. And I would just take my dear friend's handmade goat milk lotion that's made in a high vibrational environment, and I would put that all over my body and tell myself how beautiful I was. I didn't believe it at first, but guess what? Now I do. And it didn't take too long. It was like a 3 or 4 month process. And so you can just make it up, act as if. Don't fake it till you make it because your subconscious knows you're faking it. But act as if you're beautiful. You'll start to feel more beautiful. Tell yourself things that affirm your beauty, your love, your kindness, who you really are as a person. If you go back to the person you were before this world started beating you down, you will realize that there is so much beauty and brilliance within you. The fifth is purpose-driven action. This is the belief that your actions have meaning and they contribute to a bigger purpose. I remember listening to a story of a gentleman who was a custodian at NASA. And instead of saying he cleans the floors, he said, I put men on the moon. Sometimes we've got to stretch and see, like, the curriculum that I'm teaching is so bad, and my children are so far below grade level, they can't access it. And it's incredibly difficult. And I could stay in that frustration, or I can tell myself, I'm not just a teacher. I'm changing the trajectory of these children's lives because I'm working on their belief system each and every day. I'm working on their identity each and every day. Those are the things that I know change lives. And so I can cultivate a larger purpose that drives my passion, it drives my tenacity, it keeps me persistent towards my long-term goals. The next belief, number 6, resilience and adaptability. Adaptability or agility is the number one job skill of 2024. It is the skill that every company across the globe is looking for because the world is changing at a rapid pace. And so we can prepare for that by forming the belief that I am agile, I am adaptable, I am resilient, I navigate setbacks and stay focused on my long-term vision. Nothing derails me. Notice how the belief starts to inform a thought track. So that's why I want you writing these beliefs down. I want you listening to this every single time you start to feel down in the dumps. Doubt is a naturally occurring thing in human beings. So I want you to focus on that anytime. Or if you know someone who experiences a lot of self-doubt, I happen to be that person. I experience an inordinate amount of self-doubt constantly. And so if a friend of mine was listening to this, I would love it if she said, hey girl, I think that you would love this. So feel free to share this with others for those who are going to be listening to this when it's repurposed on the podcast or YouTube, because we have to lift each other up. It's impossible for us to do it all on our own. That's why I created Warrior Women's Society, because as women, we can be that rising tide that raises all ships. It's women who hold together families and communities and school systems and our workplaces. It's always women. And so we need to be lifting one another up and supporting each other so that when one falls down a little, we say, hey girl, I got your back, and we lift each other up. And so that is why I created that opportunity. You'll also see in the description a link to a gift of a one-on-one with me for an extraordinary life edit. If you're interested in joining Warrior Women's Society, just schedule with me. We'll talk about it, determine if it's a great fit for you. It is a very high-performing community, and so I am the curator, I guess, of that experience and want to make sure that it's a good fit for you and a good fit for the community. Number 7, vision and clarity. Believing in a clear, compelling vision for your future, that's a leadership skill. Leaders are able to craft a compelling vision for themselves and their team and the contribution that they're going to make. You can build that skill. You just start drafting a vision statement. Why are you working towards what you're working towards? What is it that lights you up? What are you going to create? Draft out a piece of writing that describes that desired state. That will help guide every decision and action you make. The eighth, continuous learning. Remaining open to continuous learning is just mission critical. If you're not curious, open-minded, and innovative, you will be left behind in today's fast-paced world. So you've got to continuously be learning. The ninth is gratitude. This one's my favorite. It's an immediate mood booster. Gives you motivation, promotes overall well-being, contributes to your success. And the last one, connection. Believing in the power of relationships. Recognizing that you're not in it alone. I know for me personally, especially when my daughter's father left us and I felt like I had been abandoned, and I built this nasty narrative that men were worthless and destroyed families and society. And so I got tough. I put walls around my heart, walls around myself, and I decided I was going to be the man and the woman of the house better than any man could ever be. And I made that decision. And it really caused me a lot of harm and a lot of pain long term. And I'm so grateful that I started rewiring my brain, doing neuro-linguistic programming, cognitive behavioral therapy, psychedelic interventions to rewire my brain and downgrade my default mode network in the aftermath of cancer, rewiring that fear and trauma. And that helped foster this space where I could connect deeply with others, because I realized, sadly, it took cancer to help me realize we're here to help each other out. And so I would love, as we wrap up tonight, to just gift you the space to talk about extraordinary. What does extraordinary look like for your life? And how do we make small, simple edits? You don't need a full-scale reinvention or rebirth to be able to improve the quality of your life in this moment and in this season. Sometimes it's just a little bit of belief that needs tweaking. So often as we talk about extraordinary, I had a few of these sessions last week that were really fun. And I was talking to individuals about their goals and where they're at and where they're feeling a little frustrated or agitated, because your agitations are often your invitation to the next level, should you choose to accept it. And as we do that, I listen for what are the beliefs. And then I help build the ladder. Here's what I'm hearing. Here's what you're saying. Does that feel true for you? And often we reveal that the beliefs that are underlying the behaviors are the space where there's some mistruths. And so I would love to help you get clear on what your truths are and how those truths can inform your behavior. With that, my friends, our time is up. Go out and shine your love and light into this beautiful world. I love you so much. I look forward to seeing you next week. Mwah.